Nobody should be surprised by this move. I mean, the moment that Robert Downey Jr. was brought on stage at San Diego Comic-Con over the summer was the moment that everybody realized that, yeah, they're going to be getting everybody back together in order to restart this thing, because, oh boy, did they fumble it hard in phases 4 and 5. Chris Evans sets a Marvel return in Avengers Doomsday. So yes, Chris Evans not being able to find his footing in Hollywood. I mean, right now, like what over the past weekend he was a part of number 5 performing film of the weekend with Red One, starring opposite The Rock. Again, didn't he do that for a Netflix show or something like that? But yeah, the other Buzz Lightyear is going to be putting back on the Stars and Stripes. Let's keep it a buck here. You had him reprising the role of Johnny Storm in Deadpool and Wolverine, which I don't know why more people didn't get upset by that cameo and the fact that, he was stripped of his skin and it was played for a laugh. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, we just go ahead and we forgive that because, oh my God, Ryan Reynolds. And I remember Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I've seen that. Okay, like I got to make a tangent on this one. Like I haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that Deadpool is cringe in all of his incarnations. Didn't watch the first film. Didn't watch the second one. Definitely didn't watch Deadpool and Wolverine. But I seen the intro sequence because they put that out there on Twitter or something like that, I think. But the fact that everybody is fine with the literal bones of Wolverine being used, beat up TVA agents, so taking things from the past, desecrating a corpse in order to destroy things from the current Marvel, everybody's fine with that because it was set to bye. It's awful. Like over the past weekend, okay, again, just a little bit of a tangent here and just how terrible modern movies have become. Like I was watching the classic clips, okay, a lot of Lord of the Rings clips, okay? Boromir's death, Council of Elrond, King Theoden's final charge coming out of Helm's Deep, Pelennor Fields, obviously, Gandalf's speech to Pippin right before the Witch King shows up. It's like all of those are just timeless scenes. And of course some Gladiator clips that are in there as well because I still need to wash my mind of that awful second one to come out, which is so funny. You don't see any clips of that one going around right now, but you can still go back to the Maximus Decimus Meridius speech, a man or a husband to a slain wife, father to a slain son. I will have my revenge in this world or the next. You don't have anything like that coming out. You take a look at what are the clips coming out of Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, look at that. It's Henry Cavill as Wolverine. Oh, it's so cool. I remember things. I like that. That's why there's no movies coming out now that have legitimate lasting power and why all of these franchises have just become self-referential death spirals that eventually have to come back and bring back the cast that actually had memorable moments in order to once again set you up so you don't fail again. It's so pathetic. And it's going to be even more pathetic and now that all of these characters, because at least that Tony Stark, like his send-off in Endgame, like it or not, and the circumstances behind it were kind of stupid. His death was paid appropriate reverence, but Captain America, Steve Rogers, bro, his send-off, not that great. Okay, at least he got one good meme out of it. No, I don't think I will. But him staying out of all of the massive world events, it's like, I understand that Haley Atwell is some kind of a piece of ass, but really you weren't going to use any of your contacts to say, hey, something funky's going down mid-September in 2001. You guys might want to keep an eye on that. Oh yeah, going into Iraq, they actually don't have the stuff that Colin Powell's talking about. Yeah, don't worry about any of that stuff. He's just too busy slow dancing. It was silly. But at least this time around, hey man, he's going to be brought back and he's going to be paid tremendous reverence. And it won't be anything. It definitely won't be anything so terribly disrespectful like you could have seen with Johnny Blaze. I mean, take a look at this Avengers Doomsday cast, right? You have Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom or Iron Man Doom, ripping that off from the comics, right? And then you're going to have, Chris Evans, Johnny Storm. No, he's going to be Captain America, right? And then you got other Captain America. So how's that going to end up working out? Is this kind of an announcement, right? Because it's a leak, nothing officially confirmed, at least the time of recording. This could change by the morning, but I kind of highly doubt it. This is just going to be used as rumor bait. But did you just kind of cuck and once again undercut any sort of hope that you have for Brave New World coming out in February? Doesn't this kind of do more disservice because the way that this is getting talked about completely and totally dwarfs anything that's going on there? So everybody's just going to be wondering, it's like, okay, cool, you just announced that Captain America is coming back, but then there's a Captain America movie with no Captain America in it. Like, what are we doing? You're already confusing people even more than that. But then you hop down to Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, the Goofy Thunderbolts, which are going to be getting their film in May, right? Sure, fantastic. That'll be awesome. Definitely won't be a disaster. I don't know what's going to be a worse performer, Captain America, Brave New World, or the Thunderbolts. I don't know, man. Like, I don't think the budget for the Thunderbolts is going to be quite as apocalyptic as Brave New Worlds is, but when it comes to actually turning a profit at the box office, oh, I think the Thunderbolts might actually perform worse because at least it doesn't have that name recognition of Cap, but it's going to be trepidatious. But you're likely to hear, and especially leading up to Cap 4 and then in the aftermath of that, when they try to just wipe it away from your memory, you're going to be hearing the announcements that, oh my God, Chris Hemsworth is going to come back as Thor. It's going to be crazy. And oh yeah, we managed to get that tough to pin down Mark Ruffalo. Oh, that's so great. And oh wow, look at that. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are going to be a part of the new Avengers. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to be hearing all of these announcements ahead of that 2026 release date because that's apparently when this is supposed to go down, right? All of it's leading to this. Just don't mind any of the slop that is set to come out with the 2 movies that I made mention before. And then also, oh yeah, isn't Ironheart coming out in April? Oh, it's going to be a disaster. Chris Evans is returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as part of the cast for Avengers Doomsday, the highly anticipated sequel that will also star Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, the Wrap has learned exclusively. Evans will be involved in some capacity, but the extent and exact nature of his role is unknown. He's going to be Captain America. 1000%. But as Gary pointed out, and something that I immediately thought of, okay, when I heard this announcement, yeah, expect some form or fashion just like this, because you got Iron Man coming back as Doctor Doom. So yeah, you're gonna have Hydra Cap 1000%, because you already have Black Captain America. So you got to compare and contrast that with evil white Captain America. You could end up having evil bad Professor Hulk working with them all together. You could have this entire evil Avengers squad to face off against, and then just to enter on a low point into Secret Wars, the bad original Avengers versus the new fantastic Avengers, whatever you're going to call it, the short-lived Avengers before everything gets reset after Secret Wars. But after sunsetting his Steve Rogers character in 2019's Avengers Endgame, Evans recently made a brief MCU return to this summer's Deadpool and Wolverine as Johnny Storm. The Russo brothers, who directed Evans and Downey Jr. in Captain America Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, is set to direct Doomsday and, of course, Secret Wars. And here's the thing, right? Like, Avengers Doomsday is stated for release on May 1st, 2026. There's just a bunch of speculation. It's like, oh my God, it's so great. This is going to be happening. Robert Downey Jr., it's going to be back. But yeah, I also think, okay, the fact that they made this announcement right now and they know the momentum for Cap 4 is absolutely negligible. Don't be surprised, okay? Because there were a couple of other people, okay? There was I think it was Daniel RPK who ended up, one of the scoopers that are out there saying, Captain America 4's runtime is going to be 2 hours, 40 minutes, and there's going to be one end scene. What did we hear last week or the week before? Captain America 4 is heading back for re-edits or reshoots or something like that. Do you think that maybe they're giving themselves enough leeway in order to work in, an end credit scene where new Cap goes and talks with old Cap? Or maybe, because in the trailer, I think it's heavily implied that Captain Black Falcon America Man is talking with somebody in the shadows. I think that it's likely Isaiah, the Tuskegee Airman who got experimented on from it. He was introduced in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But maybe that was a placeholder, okay? Maybe they want to have Steve in there for a scene as old elderly man Cap, set him up and then just try to do this misdirect ultimately for Doomsday, where, oh, he's old Cap, but how's he going to be fully fledged Hydra Cap by the time that Doomsday comes around? Well, of course, because you got Tony Stark with all of the resources of Doctor Doom when he eventually comes back around. You don't think that he would have had the opportunity and the ability, because there's a high likelihood that Doctor Doom is at least going to get teased at the end of the Fantastic Four film, okay? And that is supposed to take place in a different universe, an alternate setting or something like that. Don't you think that Doctor Doom's going to have the capacity and the ability to take Captain America, some version of him, through time, and then bring them to help assemble this team in order to take on the Avengers? I think that is a very high likelihood. Not saying that it's good, not saying that it's bad. It's just a very desperate move by a desperate company that can very obviously read the room, and it's also just so goddamn demoralizing. Like, you look at everything that's on there, and everything is a sequel, prequel, adaptation. There's nothing original. There's nothing thought-provoking, and entertainment is on its last dying legs. And if this is what we're up here trying to defend at this point in time, bro, let it all burn. So with all that said, Thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.